Welcome to a brand new Midnight Review presented by Glasshouse Films. I'm Carson, this is Nick, and we gotta go see a movie.
We gotta go see a movie.
We gotta. We gotta. Yeah, we want to illuminate your face there.
Nice yellow lights.
Yep. So, Winchester, the house that ghosts built, kind of looks like a PG-13, 13 ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean...
Last movie you saw, Jason Clarke in.
I mean, apart from... Okay, Death Race we saw in cinemas. The last movie I saw with him in it... I don't think he was in anything I saw last year. Which means that it would probably be like... Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. He's that forgettable. I mean, he was also in Terminator 5, which was absolute dog shit.
He's in some pretty good movies.
Yeah, but some. He's not the reason why I'm holding out even the barest shred of hope. It's Helen Mirren is in this one. So
yeah,
I'm like, girl, give me some Helen Mirren. And then the Spierig brothers, whom one of their, I really like Daybreakers.
I do like Daybreakers.
That was a really good movie. I've needed to see Predestination for a while, because it's like...
I haven't seen it.
It's like a time travel movie with like... It's like Time Cop, except it's like... goes more into like the procedure of like how they take out terrorists who travel through time. I'm like, oh, okay. Totally right up my alley. I just haven't made the time to go to watch it yet. But then I didn't realize... And we might have got a different review if I'd paid any attention, but Jigsaw was directed by them. So...
And I heard Jigsaw was kind of like...
Okay.
It was like, yeah, like aggressively okay.
I mean, the thing with that is that they're good directors, and I feel like they did Jigsaw so they could get this movie. I kind of feel like that's what it was.
Let's hope so, because I'm not, I'm not the biggest fan of like ghost movies.
Yeah.
So, I'm expecting nothing. I don't even know anymore, like what I'm supposed to expect out of like a good ghost movie, because ghosts are like the new. They're like I don't want to say they're like the new zombies, because they've just always been around.
Yeah.
But it's like, we got like a ton of zombie movies. And we get like, I lump ghost movies and like possession movies together a lot of the time. And the last ghost movie I saw was Crimson Peak.
Oh, I like Crimson Peak.
And Crimson Peak was not, it was like okay.
It was marketed wrong.
It was marketed
so
horribly.
Wrong. Yeah.
And it was like a ghost movie, but it was more just like a weird gothic romance story. Yeah. It was definitely like, give me some weird... this is gonna sound like really tangentially related, but like, give me like some weird like Sweeney Todd vibes, where I felt like every edgy teenager who wants to like a romance movie but wants it to be like dark.
Yeah,
like
they want blood.
And that's like the last like ghost movie I've seen.
Yeah.
And I was like not enthralled by it.
I can't.
So I just
off the top of my head, I can't name like my favorite ghost movies.
Yeah.
I can name my favorite vampire films or possession films or zombie films. I can't name.
It's so stupid, because like, what are a ghost movie I can think of that I like off the top of my head, which is so stupid and so hypocritical, is like Ghost Ship. I like Ghost Ship, but like I'm just not.
What Ghost Ship has is like a really incredible gore factor.
Yeah,
which is not what we're going to get with this.
That's the thing. It's like, what do I expect out of like a PG-13 ghost movie?
What do we ever expect out of a PG-13 horror movie? Oh God. Happy Death Day.
Monday, Tuesday, Happy Death Day. Wednesday, Thursday.
So
happy death day.
Anyway, this movie is, from the trailers, it looks like it's about Helen Mirren is like the last Winchester, as in like from the family that like built the Winchester rifles and everything, and she's incredibly rich. And she built this house that has like 500 rooms that's 7 stories tall. But like, the geometry of the house makes no sense. The architecture is just like, wait, what? This staircase leads to nothing. And the way the trailer makes it look is that it's to trap ghosts in there, but then there's also going to be this other story that's like, probably other members of her family are trying to get that fortune before she squanders it all. So they hire Jason Clarke to be like, to go and figure out like, is she crazy?
They're like, hey, quit building the ghost house.
Yeah. And Jason Clarke's like, with every damn ghost movie ever, I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in what I can see.
I believe in what I can see. What I can see is a fuck ton of ghosts.
Yeah. I want that to be like 5 minutes of the film, and then the rest like, oh shit, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, just
hurry, run down these stairs. Oh no, brick wall.
Yeah.
Full of ghosts.
Yeah. Although, the funny thing about this, the first time I watched the trailer for it, I thought it was actually that H.H. Holmes film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not coming out for another couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just because it's like, oh, crazy rooms. That's pretty much it.
Well, hopefully it's not a huge letdown.
I hope it's good. I am not expecting a lot because it's February 1st, and we're still in that period of time where it's like, oh, great, poop is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Hope it's better than Proud Mary.
I just gotta keep on hoping it's
better than Proud Mary.
Better than Proud Mary.
Alright.
I feel their presence. In the air, in the walls. It has found us.
Better than Proud Mary.
It's better than Proud Mary, yeah.
I mean, Proud Mary, there was just an ineptitude to filmmaking there. I'm like, man, you couldn't even, like, shoot that right.
Straight to DVD kind of movie.
Oh, straight to streaming.
It's gonna be 50... How many weeks is it in a year? 52?
Yeah.
I always think it's 52 or 56. It's gonna be 52 weeks.
Of us going better than Proud Mary.
Yeah, better than Proud Mary.
It's unfair to do that, because it's like... As I was saying when we were walking out, I've never seen a movie that bad in cinemas.
Yeah.
I've seen offensive movies, but nothing that was that poorly made.
This movie, though,
I turned to you at some point. I'm like, I'd rather be watching The Death Cure right now, and I really like The Death Cure.
Aggressively, okay.
So, okay, it is pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be, in that Jason Clarke is kind of a psychiatrist at the end of his rope a little bit, contracted by the Winchester company to be like, hey, this bitch, she ain't all right, we need you to sign the papers so that we can get the company.
Very like straightforward story, very straightforward characters. Like you have like troubled doctor, crazy old lady,
relative of crazy old lady who's willing to follow her into hell and back, and son.
Yeah, like, you know, single mom looking out for her kid, trying to be a good parent.
Help, who is
evil 49% of the company that wants to like impeach.
Okay. This is a big problem that I have with a lot of shit, and it happens later in the movie, but there's and you'll know what I'm talking about when I get into it, but there's a better way to put it without spoiling anything, is, let's be honest. If someone was like, hey, I'm building this house to trap spirits inside of it, you would go, I don't think you should have any weapons on you. I don't think you should be having a controlling interest in one of the nation's largest companies. I mean, it's not a harmful thought to be like, no, you shouldn't be in a position of power.
But I also think it takes place in a time where
that's why it has to take place when it takes place.
Yeah, were those kinds of laws... I don't know, maybe we don't have the... It feels weird defending like a huge company, but at the same time, it's like, did they just not have the ability to like?
I think it would have been
these weird like tycoon monopoly laws in place yet.
I think it would have been a better idea. So yeah, Mrs. Winchester, now the majority shareholder of the Winchester Corporation, moves to California, starts building this wacko house so she can trap spirits inside of it. That's not even too far into the movie, where she's like, yeah, this is kind of what it's about. And it's trying to figure out whether or not she's actually crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay. It should have been set up more nefarious from the other company's perspective. Or from the company's perspective.
I think it was just really like...
this movie, to its benefit and detriment, is really fast, and I think in doing so they skipped over things they could have solidified just a little bit more.
Especially for like a supernatural horror movie. It's like very straightforward with like the plot. By the end of the movie, you have like you know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There's no weird like,
no ambiguity.
Was it real? Was it not real? Who were the ghosts?
Well, what I was getting at with that is that it should have been set up more that Mrs. Winchester might be kind of nefarious, and that she moved from Connecticut to California. If there was some kind of line of dialogue that's like, well, laws about locking someone up for being crazy is a little different in California. And it's like, oh, that's the reason why she moved. But it's actually something else the further you get in the film. Like, just something. But it was just arbitrarily, she moved to San Jose.
Yeah. Or San Francisco.
No, it's San Jose because he lived, Jason Clarke lived in San Francisco.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that explains part of the movie then. Sort of.
Okay.
Like the very, very end.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just like, okay, wasn't particularly
I just don't think
scary.
it was that important. Like, the whole, I don't think the reasoning, like, I don't think they really needed, like, a throwaway line, because it just wasn't that important. Like, all you really need to know is... Other half of the company doesn't want her there anymore.
Yeah.
They send Jason Clarke there to give her like a poor mental evaluation so they can remove her from the company.
Yeah.
I don't really think you need more than that. Like, I don't think you need a reason for like her moving.
It's true, you don't.
Because
but if you wanted a better film, it wouldn't. I'm not just saying that one specific instance. I'm kind of like, put a little bit more time into a lot of other things.
I guess it's just like how much time, like how much is that worth though?
Exactly, like, and that's the thing. It goes right to the root. Is that the script was just good enough to get that 89-minute runtime, but. I bet there was a much larger draft of the script, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't want to produce that. We'll give you 15 million, Helen Mirren, 89 minutes, final cut, and that's it. But we take out all this other stuff." And in a lot of ways, it did feel kind of rushed near the beginning. Towards the end, it was like, okay, this is how the movie was going to end one way or the other.
I can appreciate them getting the ball rolling, though.
Yes.
Because my big problem with, like, ghost haunting kind of movies is, like, the beating around the bush. And, like, we're talking, like, within his first, like, night in the house, like, shit's going down. It's kind of what I liked about, I was thinking about it while we were watching, it's kind of the same thing I liked about, like, 1408.
Yeah,
it's like 1408. It's just like, well, it only takes place over the course of one night, anyways. But it's just like, boom, like right to the point. We're there. We don't need a whole ton of setup. Because the reason I feel like I didn't need a ton of setup is because I don't care about it. All I need is like crazy old lady. Who saw a medium once and it just fucked her for life, apparently.
Okay, so that's the other thing I was going to get into is that this story, this particular this particular way of telling this story has been told a million times. Like, I saw one trailer and I was like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen.
And the thing is, like, when you see a character, you immediately know, like, what kind of character that character is.
What I was going to go into is flip the script. Make the main character Helen Mirren. Go all the way back to her going, like, to her just losing her husband and daughter, and then her seeing the medium, and we're following her journey about putting this house together. Then halfway through, oh, here comes Jason Clarke, is like, I gotta evaluate you. Change the perspective. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I guess
change the perspective.
I guess it just doesn't work with Jason Clarke's character because there's, like, without spoiling too much, there's very important parts of his character that are, like, integral to the plot.
Yeah, this would constitute a major script change. Yeah. However, it's like, okay, but if you flip it, you get a different story.
I just don't think there's any way to make this story any more interesting than it could have been. I just really don't think there is, because I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory, but, like, when you just find out why all the ghosts are there.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, minor spoiler, fast forward or whatever if you don't want to hear it. It just turns out that all the ghosts are there because they're all ghosts that are killed by Winchester rifles.
I wouldn't even say that's a spoiler, because that's told in the same bit. It's like, we're trapping the ghosts here to figure shit out.
It's not really I guess it's not really a spoiler, but that's the thing everything there has in common. And, like, how do you make that more interesting? Like, it's not a very interesting concept.
Yeah,
because it's, like, super ham-fisted.
Let's actually go all the way back. I don't find ghost stories that interesting.
They're not,
period.
Like, they're not.
There's a small handful that are really good, but that's because they're bombastic. Yeah. For instance, the Conjuring movies. Ghost Ship. Yeah, they're just like, you know what? Screw you. We're going to make this as loud and as bombastic and edge-your-seat fun as possible.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the first Conjuring movie?
Yeah.
You know that moment near the end where it's like, in the name of God, I send you back to hell. I was like, yeah!
And the other thing was everything in this movie, everything was a jump scare until the big bad is revealed, kind of thing. Until, like, the climax, it's just like, minor jump scare. Yeah. The only time there wasn't a jump scare was when there was a fucking roller skate going across the floor.
And it's supposed to be scary, but I'm just like, ha! Old-timey roller skate.
It's just a little adorable old-timey roller skate.
Marty McFly's gonna jump on that and start skating through 1906.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the movie just was, you know, it was shot all right. One thing I'll give it is, like, I really like the lighting in the movie. Like, I felt like I was in, like, a 1906 home.
Yeah.
With, like, just, like, the majority of the movie takes place at night.
Yeah.
But I liked how it felt like I was looking at what, like, another character would be looking at. It was dark when it needed to be dark. Yeah,
it wasn't shot with ambient light, but it very much felt like it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. That was done pretty well. The shot, the first shot of the wacky stairs, I thought that was actually a pretty cool shot. The use of the wacky stairs later could have been done better, but I was kind of laughing the whole time.
That was just a funny scene.
And
that was right up there with unnecessary wheelie guy.
but nothing tops the thing that we were both thinking of. There's a weird almost homage to Scary Movie.
I know.
And I'm just like,
it was very much like Scary Movie.
Like, I just wanted to, like, reach over and be like,
yeah, things going in ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen Scary Movie.
Yeah. It was
eerily similar.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm gonna forget this movie in a week.
Yeah.
By the end of this week, by like 2 months, I'll be going back through looking at what we've reviewed. I'll be like, wait a minute, what did we see? Winchester?
Yeah, what did we see that? This is like the horror. I don't even. It's not even a horror. This is like the supernatural thriller Murder on the Orient Express, where it's like, oh, like a pretty by-the-numbers story, executed about as good as I thought it could have been.
Yeah,
I mean, like forgettable.
To be honest,
no one was like grossly like offensive.
Yeah,
like there was.
Although there was a use of a ghost that I'm like, oh, what? Slave.
Are you talking about slave ghosts?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, okay.
That was probably
shit
one of the better parts of the movie.
Speaking of which, the main villain's motivation and timing of his motivation are pretty bad.
Yeah, that timeline. So that timeline doesn't make sense to me.
It's like, wait a minute.
And
what?
I can't even talk about it without hitting like major spoiler territory.
Yeah, it was.
In fact, I almost feel like it's a spoiler that we're saying that there's like a main villain. Because you think of a haunted house full of tons of ghosts, and we're like, oh yes, but the main ghost, like.
Well, that's the thing, is there's really only one ghost the whole time.
Yeah, I will say probably the coolest part of the movie, spoiler-ish, I'm not gonna go into any like plot details, but is the part where you actually see a bunch of the ghosts.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part of the movie, where you actually see more than one ghost.
Yes.
That like 3 to 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Was a lot cooler than the rest of the movie.
But at the same time, it's not worth your time and money to go watch this movie.
It's not.
I don't even think it's worth renting. I mean, just rewatch The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2.
It's just like, you're not missing anything. You're not like, it wasn't like a horrible, just awful movie.
Forgettable. It's
But
completely
it's forgettable.
It's
like,
mediocre.
It's a PG-13 ghost movie.
Mediocre.
Yeah, it's a PG-13 ghost movie. Like, it's what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
There's not really any crazy twists and turns. Nothing really makes you... you never really have to think about anything.
Yeah.
Everything's very spoon-fed. It has a nice, tight conclusion.
Watch Daybreakers.
Yeah, go
It's
watch...
a better Spierig Brothers film.
Go watch... I kind of want to watch 1408 now. I like 1408.
This is a solid film. Solid film.
1408 was solid. Like...
However, next week, we got homework to do for next week.
Oh,
50 Shades Freed.
Is that what it's called? 50 Shades Freed?
Yeah.
They should call that 50 Shades Darkest.
50 Shades Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Darkest. Oh
50
my
Shades
God.
Black.
No, I think Marlon Wayans already made that movie.
50 Shades Blacked.
So yeah, we have to... The thing is, for some reason, the both of us have seen the first one. Now we gotta go watch the second one. Oh Lord, I hope the third one does not give me a case of the vapors.
A case of the vapors.
Oh man, I kind of hope it's in like one of the bigger ones, like one of the bigger cinemas, and like it's just jam packed of women that are like.
It's gonna be one of the first movies I've ever seen in theaters where I'm actually gonna be like kind of self-conscious walking into the theater.
We're gonna be holding hands walking into that
with my buddy. Not looking forward to that.
I
also not looking forward to having to dust off my leather daddy outfit to wear.
So we've seen the first one. We need to see the second one. Suffice to say, I've never seen any of them in cinemas. I really hope that our experience going to see 50 Shades Freed is very similar to my experience going to see Magic Mike.
Hopefully we don't need to bring tissues. Because it's a sad movie. Maybe it's another kind of movie. Maybe we'll need tissues.
I don't think it's rated NC-17.
Maybe we're disgusting human beings.
So stay tuned for that. That's gonna be fun.
Next week.
Next week, leathers.
They're sitting at a table. She's like, "What's a gimp suit?"
We'll just have gimp suits. Oh, welcome to Glasshouse Films. We'll see how appropriate that is. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Don't go watch this movie. You need to spend your time with something better. Go watch The Death Cure. It's still in cinemas. Go watch that one. So yeah, youtube.com/glassfilmshouse. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. What are some of your favorite ghost story movies? I'd like to know so I could, go watch them and figure out whether or not you actually
tell the truth.
A paragon of good taste or not. Facebook.com/glasshousefilms and Twitter @glasshousefilms. Thanks y'all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.